MS combined in creative health. And so this is the Masters in Arts and Sciences and focusing on interdisciplinarity. Oh, now my slides just disappeared. There we go. And so it's bringing together the arts and the sciences in this qualification. And we are learning, teaching about creative health. So we're asked very often, what is creative health? What does that mean? And the definition here is from the all-party parliamentary group definition from 2017, where they talked about creating the conditions and the opportunities for the arts, creativity and culture to be embedded in the health of the public. So we are looking at the relationship, the intersection of arts and health, but also more widely around thinking about creativity and culture in a very broad sense. So looking as well at nature connection and health, or historical sites and heritage and health, are just some of the examples of areas that we look at across the programme. Could we have the next slide, please? So if you're interested in studying on the MASc, you've probably already found out some things about the programme, and you're likely to be interested in this connection between research, policy and practice. We are kind of bringing those areas together. You might be interested in working in health or social care, social prescribing, the arts, the creative or cultural sectors, or you might also be interested in pursuing further research. And the programme and the course particularly focuses on, the way that we might be able to address inequalities and health inequalities and the role of creative health, approaches in improving and looking at the wider social determinants of health. So you're likely to be interested in all of those areas if you're interested in studying the Creative Health MASc at UCL. Could we go to the next? Lovely, thank you. So a key question that we're often asked, understandably, is what do our graduates do next? As you know, we're a relatively young course. I think we're in our 5th year now, but we are then now starting to get a sense of what it is that our graduates go on to when they leave us. Many combine the areas that of their interest before they joined the programme with their new knowledge and skills that they've developed as part of the programme. So it's a range of things. Some are working in delivering and facilitating creative health interventions and activities. And some are working in community volunteering and engagement roles, or community development roles in the charitable sector. We also have students who have gone on to research, evaluation and fundraising roles, sometimes in community sectors, sometimes in local government or regional government. And as I say, we also do have students who, this is an academic course, it's a master's, have developed their research interests while they're with us and have gone on to apply for PhD programmes. Okay. So if you've researched the course, you'll probably already know that UCL is a world-class university, and that we are the first of these interdisciplinary qualifications, the first MASc at UCL, and also the first postgraduate programme dedicated to the study and development of creative health in the world. So I'll go on now to talk a bit about the structure of the programme. So if you're taking the MASc, some of you here might be interested in the diploma and certificate, but this is the structure of the MASc. You do 180 credits worth of modules, and this is across 5 core modules that you can see listed here, and the research dissertation. So the research dissertation is 90 credits, so it's half of your total credits for this degree. It's a significant part of the degree and part of the work that you do here. So I'll briefly talk through each module, but this link here takes you through to the prospectus that's online that gives you a lot more detail for each of these. So our arts, nature, well-being module is our sort of core introductory module that everybody takes in the first term, introducing you to all aspects of creative health and creative health delivery. So we're covering introductions to things like hospital arts, to nature connection, to things like yoga and embodied practice, working with clay. So across this module, there's lots of opportunity here to really become very familiar with and very confident in discussing and talking about the evidence for creative health and the evidence base around the field. You're encouraged to critically engage with that, and also sort of half of that course is taught through workshops, experiential workshops. So at one point in the week, you might be listening to a talk about the research and evidence ongoing in that area. And then at another point in the week, you'll be doing a forest bathing walk as part of that module. We also have the research methods module, which I teach, which is a real introduction and grounding in research methods that aims to develop your own interests in research, your own transferable skills in research, and also get everyone on the programme ready to do the research dissertation. The approaches to interdisciplinarity module is like sort of taking a step back and looking at interdisciplinary ways of working. A huge strength of the course is that all the students that we have are coming from very different disciplinary backgrounds, and we want to understand how can we bring all of that knowledge and experience that all of you have together to be thinking about addressing some of these key problems around health inequalities and creative health. Lived experience is the next one there. So that is a module that runs throughout the programme, where you hear from practitioners in creative health, talking about their journey into the field, what brings them there, what kind of work they're doing. We have a huge network of amazing practitioners and community organisations that support the course and work with the course and give their time to come and talk to our students about the work that they're doing. And you learn about that within the framework of lived experience and how we can, value that knowledge and use that knowledge in health research and practice. And I think last but not least on my small screen there is the Creative Health Lab. And this module focuses on kind of practice and quality in creative health practice. So again, we're very lucky to have key people come to talk to us, important voices from organisations such as the Culture, Health and Wellbeing Alliance, the National Centre for Creative Health, and lots of others who come to share about quality in creative health practice and what that looks like. So we look at all aspects of that, and you get the opportunity to work on your own ideas around creative health programmes and delivery with your course mates. You also have within this the opportunity to take one optional module. So that can be we offer an optional module on the programme, and it can also be an optional module from other departments. Those tend to change from year to year, so I think they're listed on the website, but that's really a flavour of what might be available, depending on what's available in each year and what works with the timetable. And last but not least is the community research dissertation, where you are paired with one of our community partners who have brought with them a problem or an issue that they're facing in the real world that they would like to work with you on. They tend to suggest sort of wider ideas and topics, and then that gives you a chance to work with that partner, bring your expertise and your skills that you've developed over the programme to work with them on something that is pertinent to creative health at the moment. So that's, yeah, we have the full-time option. So that's a year, September to September, and part-time is over 2 years. We also have the postgraduate certificate, as I said, and the postgraduate diploma pathways. So for the certificate, you take these 4 of the core modules. And for the diploma, that is all the core modules, plus the optional module and a shorter independent research project. And both of those programs are 9 months. Okay. So if you are interested in taking the degree part-time, as I say, that's over 2 years. You take 60 credits taught in your first year. Is that right, if I read that correctly? Yeah. And the dissertation is submitted at the end of year 2. So there are 3 core modules there, as you can see, that you do have to take in your first year because they're so foundational to the rest of the programme. And then you can choose a combination of the other core modules or an optional module taking in your first or second year. But as I say, then we get you started on your dissertation at the end of your first year, and you get to work on it into your second year. Okay. This slide gives you just a flavour of the number of organisations, cultural community organisations that we are so lucky to work with on the programme. So many of these have been dissertation partners, and many also join us to give guest lectures on arts, nature, wellbeing and the Creative Health Lab and lived experience as well. So you'll be very much embedded in the sector and in the field if you join us on the programme. And these are some of the organisations that you might get the chance to work with as well. But there's lots of opportunity to chat to these people that give their time so generously as part of the guest lectures when they come to speak to you, ask questions and be able to talk to them. So we're often asked the question of how much time commitment there is. So it's tricky to sort of say individually, but these are some of the expectations. The modules themselves range from 30 to 50 hours of class time. Arts, nature, wellbeing all takes place in term 1. Research methods, Creative Health Lab and lived experience go across terms 1 and 2. And in the case of lived experience, into term 3. There is also, time needed for preparation tasks, postgraduate course. So there might be reading or group work to be involved with outside the classroom time, and of course time for assessments as well. And with the dissertation, as I say, we like to get you started as early in the year as we can. Usually we are able to introduce you to a dissertation partner around January and get started on the planning, and then the full-time work on that comes in teaching and assessments. So if you're thinking of putting in an application, this introduces you to some of our admissions criteria. So usually we look for a 2-1 or above in the UK undergraduate degree or the overseas equivalent of that. And there are some of the subjects that we accept applications from. So psychology, medicines, biomedicine, nursing and allied health professionals, life sciences, arts, humanities and social sciences. So as you can see, it's a really wide range of subjects. And as I said earlier, that's one of the great strengths of the course, is the opportunity to come and study with people from so many different backgrounds and perspectives. If you don't see your subject there, or if you don't have a 2-1 in your subject, then you may still be able to be offered a place. So please don't necessarily let that put you off applying. If you have evidence of academic background and work experience in the creative health field, then please put that into your application. Tell us about your own professional or volunteering experience in the field, so that we can look at your application on those merits. So the application deadlines are 26th of June for applicants who require a visa, and the 28th of August if you won't require a visa. However, we are we're making offers throughout the year, and in particular, there are specific funding deadlines. So if you're interested in applying to the course and you know that you would like to apply for some funding, please apply before those dates. We'll have a look at funding deadlines in a couple of slides. So something to bear in mind. So especially for those of you who might have a subject, a degree subject outside of these, or lower than a 2-1 in your subject. On the next slide, Nat, if you are able to, thank you. I've got some tips for your application statement. So as part of your application, you'll be asked to do a personal statement. So as I say, please tell us about your relevant volunteering or professional experience. Really emphasize that in your statement. Tell us if you don't, tell us how your degree can be applied to the programme, or spend more time on your work or volunteering experience. It's really important to demonstrate understanding of the programme, particularly the core modules. And remember, when you're doing this, that creative health is not an art therapy qualification. So there's no sort of clinical qualification at the end of this master's degree. Bear in mind that the optional modules change each year. As I mentioned, they don't always work with your timetables, so make sure that that's not your application isn't based on optional modules that you'd like to take, but more focusing on the core modules of the programme. You could also tell us something about how you're planning on using the degree and your experience of studying creative health in the future, and connect your own personal experience of working in creative health or volunteering in creative or community cultural organisations to support your application. So we want to understand your reason for applying to the course. Okay, so on the next slide, so we are really so this is for 2026 entry. We have 2 scholarships this year. One is for the amount of the UK or EU studentship fees. So it's specifically to contribute towards tuition fees. And there are eligibility criteria attached to that. And that's the same with the overseas studentship. So this year we also have an overseas student scholarship, again, to contribute towards tuition fees. And if you put in an application and you're offered a place, you will automatically be sent the information on how to apply for these. So these are great that we have these. A decision is made later in summer. So again, if you put in an application and you're offered a place, you will be sent the information on how to apply to these ones. On the next slide, we also have information about the UCL East London Scholarship. I think I did see in the chat we have someone from East London. So this might be of interest to any of you who are joining from East London today or have connection with East London, is the UCL East London Scholarship. So this is a great scholarship as it does cover tuition fees and living costs. As you can see, you do need to have lived in East London for the last 5 years in those qualifying boroughs, or have taken your exams and done your education at a school in one of those boroughs. So it's some tight eligibility criteria, but really worth looking at if you meet that. So have a look at the website and have a look and see if you can apply for that. I did have a look, and the deadline for this one is the 26th of June. So again, if you're a home student that might qualify for this scholarship, please put in your application in enough time to also apply for this. And lastly, these are funding possibilities. So these are UCL-wide scholarship possibilities. So I'd absolutely encourage you to, oh, sorry, Nat, I think we just need the next slide. Thank you. They are, so this is in competition with other people coming to do master's degrees from across the university. But there are some scholarships available, so it's definitely worth looking into these. But do check on the web pages, the relevant web pages, for the up-to-date information eligibility criteria. And do note as well, if you're an overseas student, that UCL Global Master's Scholarship deadline is next week. So it's not impossible, but would need to be moved on pretty quickly there. Okay, let's go. So on the next slide, we also have a link. There is all the eligibility criteria here, and there is also some sort of hints and tips here on looking for funding outside of these university and department related scholarships. So sometimes there are other organisations that consider funding postgraduate education, and there's a link to some of those sources on that webpage. But outside the UCL department scholarships, it does take a little bit of research and finding out what's available outside the organisation. But do have a look there if you would need to research that. So that's the end of my slides. Again, just to point out the email address where you're very welcome to send any queries. I saw in the chat that someone might have to leave at this stage. So absolutely, if you've got any more questions, please don't hesitate to drop us an email and we'll get in touch with you. And there's the website for some more information as well. But I'm very happy now to spend some time answering any questions that you might have. I might just need some help spotting those in the chat, Nat.
Yeah, that's fine. I think I've managed to answer some of them.
Oh, thank you.
Someone's asked, when does the overseas student scholarship get sent out?
So that will be sent out in the summer. Nat, do you know exactly when those are sent out to offer holders?
No, I'm not sure, but I can find out.
Double check kind of the exact timing for those to be sent out to you. And maybe we'll have a look at sending those ones out a little bit sooner.
The information session's been super helpful. Do you plan to run the degree in any other formats in the future, e.g. remote or modular?
So we are looking into how we can increase the flexibility in the degree. It won't be in the next academic year, but we're very, very hopeful that we'll be able to offer something more flexible, like a modular format for the degree in the future. I think it won't be very likely that we are remote, but yeah, we're looking at how we can deliver it more flexibly. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Next question. What is the usual time frame from sending an application to having an interview?
Okay, so we don't usually interview. We usually review the applications and make a decision on that. So in terms of time frame, I think at the little bit more quickly. Nat, can you remember what the time is? Because the applications sort of come into central and then they don't always come to us immediately. I think they sometimes say it can be 2 months, but I think it is usually shorter than that.
Yeah, usually 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
But I think we're turning them around a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Next one. Can you upgrade from the certificate to the diploma to the master's if things are going well?
Nat, you might be better at answering that question.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. So if you want to move over to either the diploma or the master's, you have to decide fairly quickly. And we usually say by the end of October, just so that we can get you onto the correct modules for the next terms.
So it's quite a tight timeline to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Next question. Is there any information on any science departments in UCL there could be collaboration with?
Um, I'm not too sure what you mean about collaboration. There are some optional modules that you might be able to take. So it's worth having a look at the optional modules that are available in some of the science faculties. And I think there could be the potential for collaboration at the dissertation if you have someone in mind that you perhaps they're running a module that you're particularly interested in. That usually very much depends on the person and their capacity. So can't kind of be guaranteed, but something that we would, be happy to talk to you about when you were here if that's something you're particularly interested in and it fits within the program and the program aims.
Okay, next question. How many international students do you usually have?
It varies, but I think about half. I think about half of the cohort are international this year, but it will vary from year to year.
And I know we'll be sharing the video, the recording afterwards, but we'll be able to share the slides of the presentation. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, do that. If doing the certificate is possible to swap a core module for the creative lab.
So I'm not completely sure about this. That's something that we are working on because we would like to be able to give you that option. But I can't sort of guarantee it at the moment. Um, Unfortunately, I can't. I've just seen the question about health humanities come up. Not really able to answer that question, but do have a look at their program and get in touch with their team if you're interested in their program as well. I guess something that we're particularly do focus on is the research dissertation that we have and the connection to community partners and grassroots organisations and connection into that network, and focus on application, thinking about research and policy and strategy as well.
There's another question about doing the program part-time and continuing with working. How many contact hours would be required per week?
So in the first year and in the first term, I think it would probably be approximately 8. We try very hard to timetable all of the sessions on sort of core days. It's not always possible to do, and we can't confirm the timetable at this stage, but our aim is to try and leave you with 3 days for organising your work and other commitments that you might have. Actually thinking about it, I think it's closer to 10 hours of taught time in the first term, and that's your most intensive term. And then in the second term, it reduces very slightly. But yes, it is quite time intensive. As I say, that's why we try to have kind of slightly concentrated longer days and leave some days free. And it will also depend on what optional module you would choose to take as well.
Next question. I looked into doing this course in previous years with an interest in taking it over 2 years whilst working part-time. I'm a mature student, lives quite far, traveling into London for tutor days. In previous years, it seemed that in-person days could be as many as 4 a week. Yeah, that could be the case. Um,
Um, yes, I mean, just to kind of link to the previous answer, really, more like, but certainly in the first term, I'd anticipate 3 in-person days a week in the first term, and possibly into the second term as well. Again, it's hard to sort of confirm the timetable at this stage, and we make every effort to make it as concentrated as possible. But part time, I think it would ease in your second term. But if you've got some specific questions about that, please feel free to email me, and then maybe we can have a look at that when we get the timetable confirmed in a little while. I've just seen a question just has popped up on here. Do students choose their institutional partners for the dissertation themselves? So we have, as I say, a really great network of partners that are very experienced in partnering with students on their dissertations. However, if you are working with or volunteering with an organization, or have an organization that you have a particular interest in working with, then we can help facilitate that as well. So we've certainly had students do that in the past. So the majority of the students that we have work with one of the partnerships that we set up and support. But yeah, we can help support a partnership of your own if you already have the existing relationship. It is a lot more tricky in terms of time to set up completely new partnerships. But again, if you've got something that you're particularly interested, come and talk to us right at the beginning of the year, and we can see what we can talk about then. With the cert, do you get to work with the industry partners at all? Well, you're not working on a research project with the cert, but all of those, well, a lot of those partners come in as part of those core modules. So arts, nature, wellbeing, and you get to go out to visit those organisations as well, and lived experience. And in particular, then you will get to meet them and talk to them as part of the course on the cert, but without the research project. Now, have we got any other questions come up?
um, yes. There's some more scholarship questions when you find out about the East London Ship Scholarship and the Global Masters Scholarship.
Yeah, I'm afraid because we don't run those scholarships, we don't administer them. I'm not sure when you find out. I only know the deadlines, but there should be, the links are there. So please do get in touch, particularly around East London Scholarship. The person that runs that is very friendly, very approachable. Please do get in touch and check with them, when you would expect to hear.
One more question's come in. Are any graduates working in more strategic managerial roles or basically higher paid than link workers?
Yeah, I mean, we could possibly put that slide back up. So as I was saying at the beginning, we are a relatively young course, so we're just starting to get that information on where graduates are going into. But we do have some graduates working in policy, in local government. So what you would sort of term those strategic roles. And, some of those that have gone into working in link work have also, been working in those kinds of sort of leadership and strategic roles around that as well. It's a variety, and of course, it depends on graduates' interests and their previous experiences as well.
How many MASc tutors are involved in supervising PhD students in related subject areas?
So at the moment, I think 2 of us are involved in supervising PhD students. Very hopeful that arriving this in September. So yeah, so then there would be three of us, but all of us are kind of interested in and open to talking about PhD possibilities for those of you that are interested in doing that. And we do have within the wider department and wider School for Cultural and Creative Industries an increasing number of PhD students joining the programme. And an increasing amount of PhD activity. So the PhD programme in Arts and Sciences is relatively new, but very much thriving. So there are, PhD students that you will get to meet, PhD seminars, and research culture that you will be able to tap into if you join the programme and if that's something that interests you. The partnerships are mostly UK based, as you will be UK based when you're doing your dissertation. But we do have a small number of more international focused partnerships happening this year. So, as I say, if you have contacts or experience yourself in working with international organisations, that is something that we can talk about. Sometimes it can be tricky to do that more cross-national research, but it's something that we would be open to having conversation about when you come. The main, just to answer this last question that I can see on my screen, if you're planning to apply in the next week, that's fine. The main sort of issues around the course in terms of deadlines are if you have funding that you would like to apply for. Super keen that everybody gets their applications in time then to apply for the funding that they might be eligible for. Okay. Partnerships.
And the partnerships.
Yeah.
I
think it's a few further on. Okay. So I'm just looking at the time, and I'm happy to just maybe take one or two more questions if anyone has any that they would like to add. Otherwise, I would just say thank you again so much for joining us. It's great to see so many people in the call. Absolutely, please do get in touch if you have any more questions that come to mind once we've left the call, or if you would like to chat about your background to see if you can make an application, then please do. I'm not seeing any more questions come in. Have I missed anything, Nat, coming in?
No, nothing else is coming.
In that case, I'll finish up now. Many thanks again, and I hope to see you or hear from you all again soon. Thanks a lot. Thank you.